Hey everyone, welcome to this video tutorial on how to create a basic presentation using Mentimeter. So Mentimeter is a web presentation platform similar in ways to Google Slides in that you can create a presentation online and then share it with your audience via the web. So if they wanted to access it using maybe their smartphones or their PCs or Mac computers, they could do so long as they have an internet connection. So the main difference between it and Google Slides is that you can create these live polls that you can basically interact with your audience and get their feedback directly through those polls or quizzes. So it can be great for things like icebreaker sessions, workshops, or in class if you just wanted to switch things up from the traditional instructor speaks to audience kind of interaction. So it's a bit more of a constructivist learning approach. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. I'm going to go ahead and put my head in this top corner, and so that you guys can follow along for this basic tutorial on how to create a presentation. So I should mention that Mentimeter does have it is proprietary, so you do have to pay a fee if you wanted to unlock all the different options that it has, but it does have a free version of the software or of the application that does allow you to have 2 different types of polling questions and up to 5 quizzes. So we're going to go ahead and use that for the purposes of this tutorial. You do have to log into Mentimeter. You can either do so using Facebook, Google, or just by creating a email password combination, and you just need to put in your first and last name when creating your account. So it's not too obtrusive with regards to what it asks of you. And that's what I did, so I'm going to go ahead and log into my account. And as you can see, this brings you to your main page, your main Mentimeter page, where you can create new presentations. I've already been playing around with this a little bit for the purposes of this tutorial, and let's go ahead and create a new presentation now. So I'm going to call this my live presentation. If you toggle this presentation settings option, it allows you to choose what pace you want to follow. So you can either do so at the presenter pace, which would force the audience to only answer the polls that are currently up on screen, or if you wanted your audience to be able to go ahead your slide deck and answer all the polls that you've got included, then you could go ahead and choose audience pace. I'm going to leave it on presenter pace for the purposes of this tutorial. And this is what it looks like when you first create a presentation in Mentimeter. So it's all quite intuitive. So on the left-hand side, you have your traditional slide view where it shows you kind of a small thumbprint version of your slides. You have the main part in the middle that shows you the meat of the slide. And then here's where it makes kind of Mentimeter a bit unique, is that you have the ability to choose the kind of interactive poll that you want to select for your slide. So you can go from anything from multiple choice questions to an image choice question to creating an interactive word cloud with your audience, to creating scales or having open-ended questions. Something like this could be extremely useful for kind of soliciting live feedback from people, maybe in the middle of class. You know, like, are you guys following along? Please let me know if you have questions using this open-ended kind of slide. And it's a way for people to engage in a way that maybe they wouldn't feel comfortable to otherwise, since it's all anonymous. And so maybe someone can go ahead and ask a question that that they've had that maybe they were a little bit shy about asking in a kind of traditional class. You can also maybe get some feedback at the end of a workshop and really get a sense of whether or not they retained what you were trying to teach them. And then you have a 100-point kind of graph. You also have a 2x2 matrix, a who will win with a trophy, Q&As, and this quick form, which is only kind of unlockable if you have the Pro version of the application. You can also do these live quizzes, and then you have your more traditional slides that you would see in a PowerPoint. One other software or application that I've seen that kind of compares to Mentimeter is Poll Everywhere. However, Poll Everywhere does have a limitation of 25 audience members maximum for their free version, and Mentimeter doesn't have any limits to the number of participants that you can kind of solicit feedback from. So it could be great for things like conferences, as well as a kind of an icebreaker session if you really wanted to engage your entire conference audience. Poll Everywhere does have the ability to have competitions. So, you know, there is some added functionality in some of these other applications, but Mentimeter does do quite a bit. So let's go ahead and play with that now by kind of creating just a basic slide, and then I'm going to add 2 different polls. So I'm quite a big movie buff, and I really like those Marvel movies, so I'm going to call this Avengers Assemble. And it's going to be a bit of a playful theme. And then you can also get reactions from your audience using Mentimeter, so you can include, you know, question mark, hearts. So if you want to know if people are liking what you're showing them, you can kind of allow that. And then also the question mark, maybe if someone has a question or is still confused about something, that would be one way that they can help provide you that feedback without necessarily lifting their hand or interrupting. You can ask, does anyone have any questions? Feel free to click on the little question mark, you know, if you have anything that you're not sure with at this stage. And then if you see someone clicking on that, then you know that you can kind of keep going and explain something maybe in a little bit more depth or in a different way to kind of help reach all of your audience members. You also have a cat emoji, but I'm going to leave it to those 2 for now. Now let's click on New Slide and bring in a word cloud. So for this word cloud, you could just ask a question such as, what comes to mind when thinking of Avengers movies? And you can ask for different numbers of entries per voter. You can also filter for profanities, which could be useful in certain situations, maybe if you have, you know, you're talking to a young audience. And then also you can allow audience members to submit more than once. I'm going to allow that in this case because then we can see what it's like when you have more than one kind of a person who's providing feedback. And then I'm going to click New Slide, and I'm going to add another one. Maybe let's go with image choice so that we can see, kind of do a multiple choice question, but with images. So the question is going to be, of course, who is your favorite Avengers character? Wow. All right. So, and feel free to, at the end of this web tutorial, to go ahead and vote on these. We can have a little bit of fun talking about that as well. So I'm going to go with the big 3. So Captain America being the first choice. Then let's go with Iron Man, and then Thor. So I'm curious to see who you guys might be voting for. Now, I mentioned this is an image choice, so you can go ahead and attach an image to these choices. We're going to upload, I've already downloaded an image of these characters, and I'm going to use that image. But I should also show that there is the ability to have unsplash images, so if you wanted to search for keywords, you could do so here. Or if you wanted to add a GIF to your particular image choice, you could do that too. So it gives you lots of different options, and it's quite easy to do. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Captain America. It forces you to use an image within a certain box. And then Iron Man. Let's go and choose Iron Man. We can zoom in. And finally, we're going to choose Thor. This part's quite straightforward. And then, so that's done. So you can also show the correct answer. It gives you that option, but there's no correct answer in this case. You could also have show results as percentages or allow audience to vote on more than one option. But we're going to keep all the defaults for now. So let's go ahead and present. And now you can instruct your audience to navigate to menti.com and plug in this kind of code to access your particular presentation. So 58, 53, 46. 58, 53, 46. So Avengers Assemble. So I'm going to go ahead and like that, and you can see right there you get a like. Go to the next slide. What comes to mind? Let's go with superhero. As you can see, this is not my first rodeo. Iron Man or Courage, let's say. You can also pretend to be another person who entered in Marvel, Awesome, and maybe Iron Man again. And then if we were to go back to that presentation, you can see that word cloud just forming live, and you can see that 2 people entered information. And lastly, let's vote for our favorite. So we're going to go to that slide, Captain America, hit submit, and then you can see that automatically populates. So that's how to use Mentimeter. Hope you guys learned something today. Have a great day.